back to the Sideline Perspective. As always, your host, Reese the Sideliner. Final episode of the regular season. We are finally here. It seems kind of surreal, honestly, that we're at the end of the regular season of the NBA. I'm not gonna lie, I kind of took it for granted how much basketball I watched this year. It could have been a bit more. Honestly, I'm not even gonna sit here and lie. I feel like we're about to have a great playoffs though, which can make up for my lack of watching ball. But I am very, very excited for what this postseason is going to hold. One last game tomorrow, Sunday. I'm filming it Saturday, so this will come out tomorrow on Sunday. So one last game tonight for y'all that are watching it today. A lot of implications are riding on this, man. One seed is still up for grabs out west, whether it's OKC, whether it's Denver, whether it's Minnesota. That's all contingent on wins and losses between the three of them. OKC does hold the tiebreaker though, thankfully, amongst the three of us. So all else fails, we'll get the number one seed, even with Shea not being in the lineup for the past couple weeks. Yeah, he played a couple nights ago and, you know, getting back into that groove just a little bit. But even with Shea sitting for that couple weeks, we did take a couple, maybe 3 or 4 losses, maybe, I want to say. It was not looking pretty. We didn't fall out of the top 3 though. We've been holding steady pretty much all year. I'm really excited to see how this turns out. The Lakers grabbed the 8th seed after winning their game the other night, and the Kings lost. So we could be seeing the Lakers going against the Phoenix Suns in that first play-in game. That should be very, very interesting as well. Kevin Durant taking on LeBron James. I'm very excited, bro. Might not be able to tell because it is 9 o'clock and I've been up since 4:30 this morning. Pretty tired. So we might get through this a little quick. But I needed to get this video out or recorded so I can get it out by tomorrow. But the topics of discussion for this episode, I wish I could have went more in depth. I probably could have if I would have done just a little bit more work, but nonetheless, I feel like we got a pretty good episode ahead of us. All NBA and season awards, regular season awards, so MVP, Rookie of the Year, DPOY, blah, blah, blah. That is on the slate for today, and we might do a little bit of live talk at the end just to wrap up. But if you're new around here, man, I apologize for the energy or the lack of it. Like I said, I've been up since 4:30, bro, so I'm pretty tired. But if you're new around here, you know what we do. We enjoy basketball. Appreciate y'all if y'all are on this journey with me to 500 subscribers, to 1,000, to 10,000, to 50,000, to 100,000, to 1 million. We will continue to strive, regardless of how big or small this channel gets or whatever it may be, whatever becomes of this channel. I'm gonna continue to work, bro. This is something that I love to do. It's not, I would love to be compensated for it. Easy. Sitting in front of a camera, just talking, getting paid to do that, not having to leave my house. That's a big plus. I would definitely love to do that, but for now, we're just gonna keep pushing them out until that comes. If it doesn't, hey, I'm cool with it. And this ain't gonna be a forever thing. Eventually, I'm trying to, place myself in a position to be able to work with the likes of ESPN, Bleacher Report, blah, 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 you just go down the line, Sports Illustrated. Eventually, that's the goal. YouTube is not gonna be forever, but while it's hot, I'm here. This is just, I control this. So this is my gateway to show people what I'm capable of. They can see the growth from day one up until where I eventually end up. But I'm getting a little off track. Let's get into the topic of conversation, and that will be we're going to start off with the All-NBA. Pretty simple. 3 teams. There wasn't much wiggle room, in my opinion, on who the 5 players were for the first team, like whatsoever. I guess you could definitely make a case for a guy or 2 to make first team, but over these other 5 guys, I mean, the one that you have to take off is on the best team in the league right now. So I don't know. That I felt secure in my list when I made it. At least first team, I felt super secure. Second team, more 75-80% on the security. Third team, though, I'm 50-50. It's a few guys that just didn't make the cut because they didn't play enough games. You know, that new incentive of 65 minimum games played that the NBA added into the player association moving forward. That 65 games is crucial, and a lot of guys that typically are in this conversation, you can't even, there's no case for them because they didn't meet the required games. So we'll get to that as well. It's kind of disappointing that a couple of guys didn't make it because of the stellar seasons that they were having. Obviously, they get the cat out the bag. We know Joel Embiid didn't even come close to 65 games. I don't even think he came close to 40, but he didn't play more than half the season this year. So the front runner for MVP for the first 32, 35 games or so, he's not even all NBA. And it sucks. I said this when he got hurt, bro. It sucks because this is going to be a season that will be forgotten in NBA history because of the fact that he was not named All-NBA. He was not an All-Star. He was not the MVP. They may be bounced out in the, who knows if they even get a 6 seed. They're fighting to make the playoff top 6. They could fall to 7. They could fall to 8 by tomorrow night. Who knows? It's just really disappointing that Joel Embiid's season is essentially wiped under the rug, swept under the rug and forgotten about, especially considering the fact that Luka Doncic now holds that title of NBA scoring leader, averaging nearly 34 points a game at 33.9. Joel Embiid was averaging 35 points. I don't know why he doesn't qualify for points leader. Maybe that's a requirement of games as well. But Joel Embiid averages more than Luka does, unless it dropped in his last however many games that he's played since he's been back. But I thought Joel Embiid was leading in that category. Either way, though, it's a diminished season because there's no hardware or there's no recognition as far as All-Star or All-NBA attached to this season. So it's kind of thrown away. Same thing with a guy like Donovan Mitchell. Hell of a season, especially missing 2 of his all-star, caliber type guys in Darius Garland and Evan Mobley for a huge chunk of that. They get back and now he's battling injuries left and right. So he ended up missing it by probably 12 or so games. I have it in here somewhere. We'll get to it. I always go off the rails when I start this, man. That's why I need a co-host so we can kind of bounce off of each other and somebody keep me on topic. First team in All-NBA, though. Of course, starting off, gotta throw my dude Shea on here, bro. Hell of a season, bro. The fact that he was even in the running for MVP at his age and with the team that we have, there's no question. And to be a top 3 seed for basically the entire season, there's no doubt in my mind. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander averaging 30.4 points a game, 6.2 assists, 5.6 rebounds on 54, 37, 87 splits, deserves a first team All-NBA nod. You kind of don't, you kind of aren't in the running for MVP and then not make All-NBA first team. It kind of don't work like that, especially in the game nowadays where it's positionless on who gets what All-NBA slots. That's kind of just how you gotta, view it. If you're in the running for MVP, clearly you're one of the 5 best players. So that's what this list is, really. It's the 5 top candidates for MVP. Luka Doncic, of course, Jason Tatum, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Nikola Jokic, all of them having great seasons. But Luka Doncic, 33.9 points, like I said, the scoring leader, very nearly 34 points a game. We haven't seen scoring like that since, Joel Embiid this year, and then last year I think he averaged 32, but James Harden averaged 36, 37 points. So that's kind of what I'm looking towards, was the James Harden kind of thing, especially when you consider he's averaging very nearly 10 assists as well at 9.8 and then 9.2 rebounds, 49, 38, 78 splits. Tatum, almost 27 points a night, 8 rebounds, 5 assists, 47, 37, 83 splits. Giannis at 30.4 points a night. That's a career high for him, I believe. 11.5 rebounds, 6.5 assists, 61, 27, 65 splits, and then Jokic averaging 26.5, 12.5 rebounds, 9 assists, 58, 36, 82 splits. That's my first team All-NBA. One of the guys of Jokic or Luka will be MVP. I definitely have my pick. We definitely gonna get to that in a second. And I believe I made a great case for why I chose who I chose. I mean, Shea could obviously, he still has a case as well. It's just the fact that he missed so much time to close out this back end of the season. Not his stock, but his, I guess we'll call it stock, I guess. It kind of diminished because of what Luka has been doing in the past. Man, we're going to get to Luka, man. I got a whole spiel on Luka. Second team, though. This is where what I was saying, I'm 75-80, because one of these guys, maybe even two of these guys, could be on this list above a Giannis or Jason Tatum. But it's hard for me to do that when they're the top 2 seeds in their respective conferences. Brunson, we'll just say it. Brunson, he's a 4 seed, 3 seed maybe at this point. It's so fluctuating right now. There's only a couple teams that have solidified seedings right now. And then Anthony Edwards as well, being a top 3 seed, top 1 seed out west for majority of the year. Number 1 defense. Some of that has to do with how he's been playing. Those are 2 guys that I kind of considered for first team. Not really so much Brunson, because of those other guys are just so freaking dominant, bro. It's hard for me to put Brunson in over Luka, who's the scoring leader, nearly a triple-double. Tatum, who's on the best team in the league. Shea, who's been second in MVP race for a majority of the year. It's hard for me to put him over those guards. So that's why Brunson's on second team as well as Anthony Edwards. We also have Kawhi Leonard on this team. Had a very, very, very good season coming off of that injury. What was it, a calf injury? Something with his lower leg, where he went out in the playoffs last year. It was a knee. It was his knee, yeah. 23.7 points, 6.1 rebounds, 3.5 assists, 52, 41, 89 splits. I think that's a career high for him in 3-point shooting. Brunson's numbers were 28.6. That's the 4th highest scoring average in the league this year. 6.7 assists. I did not know he was really getting dimes up there like that. He did have a couple, high assist games, 10, 11, 12. 3.5 rebounds on 48, 40, 84 splits. And then Ant-Man, 26 points a night, 5.5 rebounds, 5 assists, 46, 36, 83 for his splits. Then we also have Kevin Durant on this list as well for All-NBA second team. It was really a toss-up between him and Devin Booker. I did have Booker on here initially, but going back and comparing stats and just how healthy relatively that Kevin Durant has been this year at 34, 35 years old. Played more games than Devin Booker this year. Devin Booker almost didn't make the cut. If he doesn't play tonight or his next game, like, he has to play out the rest of the season to make the 65 games. Or I think he has like wiggle room of 1 game where he can miss left on the year. But I gave it to Kevin Durant, man. 27 points a night, 6.7 rebounds, 5 assists, 52, 41, 85 splits. It doesn't get much like smoother than that when it comes to shooting the basketball. And then I could not put LeBron on there, bro. LeBron James at 39, years old is still a top 10 player in the league to me. I don't care what analytics say, what Bleacher Report rankings or ESPN's rankings say, all that is BS, bro. If you know ball, you know LeBron is still a top 10 basketball player, maybe even top 5. It's kind of hard to mess with them other 5 on that first team right now. I'd say he's better than Shea. He's better than Shea. Shea is just younger, more dominant. Not dominant, but you know, it's harder to guard Shea because of the shooting ability as opposed to LeBron. He's really trying to get to the rim. He's trying to work you out in that post, maybe get to the fade. You know, he loved that fade over that right shoulder, spin on the baseline. But yeah, hell of a year, bro. 25.5 points. That's his 20th straight year averaging 25 or more points, bro. It doesn't get better than that. 40,000 career points this season. It doesn't get better than that. 8.2 assists, 7.2 rebounds, 54, 41, 75 splits. That is a career high for him in three-point shooting. LeBron James, in his 21st season, unlocked a new chapter in his career where he can knock down the three-point ball at a 41% clip. That's above league average, which is about 37, 38%. LeBron James is a 40% shooter this year. That is longevity. That is greatness. That is continuing to work on your game, regardless of how great you are. That is what LeBron James embodies. That is why he is my favorite player of all time, because of what he continues to prove to us on a year-to-year basis, that he is not washed, regardless of how old he may get. He did lose a step or two because, well, he's almost 40 years old. Of course, he's not about to he's not running around and bouncing like he's 25 years old. It doesn't make sense how great he has continued to be. And that is why I had no choice. If he didn't make second team, he's going to make third team. LeBron James is an all-NBA, top 15 at the least player in the league. Don't care what nobody else has to say. Obviously, nobody's putting him below top 15, but if you don't have him in top 10, then we got some. We don't have, you know, we're not thinking alike. We're not on the same wavelength. Moving on to third team, though, man. Like I said, I had Devin Booker on the second team originally, so obviously he's going to be on that third team now. 27 points a night, matching Kevin Durant. That's why they're so deadly, bro. He also averaged 7 assists. Kevin Durant averaged very nearly 7. No, he averaged 5. 4.5 rebounds on 49, 36, 89 split. So Devin Booker's shooting wasn't as good as Kevin Durant's from deep, but Devin Booker takes a lot more tougher shots from three-point range than Kevin Durant does. Also have, this whole list is, you know, debatable. You could put a couple different people in here. Like I said, there's a couple guys that just missed it because of games requirement. There's a few guys that I considered putting on the list, but I just, you know, other reasons caused me to not have them on here. So we have Devin Booker. We have Domantas Sabonis. That one is a lock for me. I don't give a damn. Domantas Sabonis is a lock for me, all-NBA third team. I've watched a couple podcasts. They had him on second team on one of them. That's how well he's been playing this year. He's in the likes of Moses Malone, I want to say Wilt Chamberlain, and there's someone else to have had 70 or more double-doubles in a single season. He obviously has that streak. I'm not sure if it's still active or not, of 54-plus straight double-doubles. When you got guys like Jokic, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis, Bam Adebayo. Well, Bam's not really a rebounder, not a consistent rebounder. Who else? Rudy Gobert. We have all these guys that can be double-double machines on a literal night-to-night basis, as Sabonis has been. Not to mention, he's averaging 8.5 assists. It don't get better than that. He's a lock for me. This is Jokic type of stats. Give him 10 more points. He's Jokic numbers. I said this in a video. Jokic averaged 26.5. Give Sabonis 7 more points. He's matching Jokic's points. This is Jokic-esque basketball right here. 26, 12, and 9 for Jokic. 19, 13, which is league leading, 13.7, and 8 for Sabonis. Why he doesn't get the respect that Jokic does? Because he's not as flashy, because he can't really shoot the three ball that well. Although he did shoot 38% this year, although it was just on 1 to 2 attempts a night, he did shoot the ball at 38% this year from deep. 70% from the free throw line, 59% from the field. Sabonis had a hell of a year, bro. Regardless of what anybody tells you, he deserves to be All-NBA. I'm going to fight for that one, too. Paul George. Had to give some love to the Clippers, man. They had a hell of a year after the trade for James Harden. Kawhi and Paul George have really, really not bounced back, but thrown that load management bullshit to the side. They are really here. They're really trying to go for it because they know they really have a chance now having James Harden as that facilitator in the background who can also go off for 20-25 on a good night. We saw he had 2 40-point games in last year's postseason when he wasn't even close to this. Well, no, he was a way better James Harden in this one. I'm going to be real with you. But we know how he performs in the postseason. So 2 40-point games in the same series at that. If they can get that James Harden, the Clippers are going to be very, very scary. But as far as regular season goes, Paul George had a hell of a year, man. All-star. Definitely deserve nods for All-NBA. That's why I have him here. 23 points a night, basically. 5 rebounds, 3.5 assists on 47, 41, 91 splits. He's the closest player on this list to 50, 40, 90. Kawhi just barely missed 50, 40. He was 52, 41, 89. Two guys very, very near 50, 40, 90 on the same team. Both all-stars. Both, on the back ends of their prime. They're still in their prime, but on the back end of it, you know what I mean? I had to show love, man. I had to give both of them a spot, just like Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, although they are not a top-seeded team in their conference. They've had hell of a year, bro. You can't not have them on here both averaging 27, bro. Like, I just couldn't. And then Paolo Banchero, bro. He's a person that you could swap out with like Jaylen Brown. Who else do I got on this list down here? Zion Williamson, De'Aaron Fox, Damian Lillard, Tyrese Halliburton, Tyrese Maxey, Bam Adebayo. This is a guy that you could possibly swap out for those bigger name guys. Obviously, Dame on the second seeded team out east. De'Aaron Fox having a hell of a year next to Sabonis, but the magnitude of their names, I can't really give them the nod over Paolo, who is the leader of his team and has had them as high as a 2nd seed this year out east, over Milwaukee, over Philly when Joel was healthy. The Magic, were a 2 seed. They've fallen as low as 8. They've climbed all the way back up to 6. They're currently seated at 3 or 4, depending on where the Knicks are. Paolo Banchero averaging 22.5 points, 7 rebounds, 5.3 assists on 46, 34, 72 splits in his 2nd year. The league is in good hands, bro. My goodness, the league is in good hands. We got some players that aren't even close to being ready to be on this list, but we see the potential in them, like a Victor Wembanyama. Well, he's close to being ready. Victor Wembanyama, Chet Holmgren, Amin Thompson, Cam Whitmore could possibly sneak into this list one year. Who else we got out there? We got guys like Jalen Williams with the Thunder, bro. Like, the league is in good hands, man. We got guys coming into the league this year that could possibly, there's not a lot of buzz, but there's a lot of guys that, man, I'm gonna just get to this last one. It's a toss-up for me between Stephen Curry and Anthony Davis. The reason I say it's a toss-up because Anthony Davis has been fucking great, man. He has been great for the Lakers this year. Available, healthy. When he is able to play, he's not, every other Davis like he was last year. He's truly been their 2nd best player this year. alongside LeBron James. You could even give him a nod for the best player on the team, but no, I'm not doing that. But he's had a hell of a year, bro. 24.5 points, 12.6 rebounds. I think that's third in the league. 3.5 assists on 55, 28, 82 splits. He cannot shoot the 3-ball anymore for whatever reason. I saw him airball one a few nights ago. It was disgusting. But yeah, Stephen Curry though, 26 points, 5 assists, 4.5 rebounds, 45, 41, 92 splits. I don't want to give the Lakers 2 All-NBA players because of how bad they were this year. Obviously, they've kind of turned it up in his last couple months, but it's hard to overlook Anthony Davis's play, but at the same time, to have 2 All-NBA players when you were fighting for, 9 and 10 for a majority of this back end of the year, now you're at 8. Congratulations to you, but then, man, I don't know. Steph had a hell of a year too with all the adversity that the Warriors had to go through. Draymond getting ejected, Draymond getting suspended, their assistant coach passing away, rest in peace, Darko. Draymond still having BS antics every other day. It's like, Steph been holding it down, bro. Steph has been holding it down. I'm giving my nod to Steph. Stephen Curry deserves that, in my opinion. So does Anthony Davis. You could take Paolo off and put Anthony Davis in there, but this is my list. This is how I'm doing it. I feel Paolo, he may not be ready. It may be one more year that Paolo, because by comparison, his numbers don't really match up to Anthony Davis's unless you're talking about points. He's just a couple off. But, there's other guys deserving of this. But I feel Paolo, with how successful that the Magic have been, like they were a 6-7 seed, then no, I wouldn't even consider Paolo. But the fact that they were a 3 seed when I wrote this script, I have to give it to Paolo. But yeah, Anthony Davis is going to get snubbed for me. Sorry, not sorry. And then we got the under 65 team. Like I said, there was a lot of guys that didn't even come close to 65 games, and there was a couple guys that were right on the cusp of 65 games, just literally missed it by a few games. Let me get back to it. It's tripping out on me right now. But to start off the list, like I said, we had Donovan Mitchell. He played just 53 games this year. When I was writing this, I'm not sure how many. Just know he didn't make it. Kyrie Irving, 56 games. Joel Embiid, like I said, didn't even play half the season. 37 games. Karl Anthony Towns is at 60. He's going up with 61 because he is coming back for this last game. Jimmy Butler with 56. Julius Randle with 46 games. Kristaps Porzingis, 56 games played. Bradley Beal, 49 games played. Jamal Murray, 55 games played. Trae Young, 51 games played. And the most kind of disappointing that he couldn't be considered because it's just 2 games off, 63 games played, Brandon Ingram. And then obviously the outlier, the huge outlier, just 9 games played in Ja Morant. So there's a lot of wiggle room next year, even this year. My tripod is falling over. For, guys that didn't make the cut, whether it was due, I'm pretty sure all of this is due to injury, why they didn't play these games. It just sucks. Ja Morant had the 25-game suspension, so he wouldn't have made it regardless because that's over 65 games already. So Ja wouldn't even be he'd be on that under 65 team. But then we got some considerables that just missed it, like I named earlier. Zion Williamson averaged 23.6 rebounds, 5 assists, which was a career high for him in assists. De'Aaron Fox, 26 points, 4.5 rebounds, 5.5 assists. Damian Lillard, 24.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, 7 assists. Maxey, a career high, 26 points. These are all career highs for Maxey. 26 points, 3.7 rebounds, 6.3 assists. Halliburton, 20 points, 4 rebounds, 10.9 assists, which is a career high. I want to say league leader in assists. I'm pretty sure, yeah, league leader in assists because Luka's second. And then Bam Adebayo at 19.5 points, 10.5 rebounds, which is a career high, 10.7 rather, and 4 assists. So, there's some guys that could be there. There's some guys that probably should be there. But It's my list, like I said, and that's what I'm going with. Moving on. All defensive teams. I didn't really put these in teams. I just got the best all defensive, all rookie teams. I just got the 10 top players, in my opinion, that I felt was deserving of recognition to even be on this team. Starting it off, Derek White, 1.2 blocks and a steal. Herb Jones averaged 1.4 steals, 0.8 blocks. Victor Wembanyama, 3.6 blocks, 1.2 steal. He's the league leader in blocks. Rudy Gobert with 2.1 blocks a game, 0.7 steals. Anthony Davis, who I just gave a lot of recognition to for the All-NBA, even though I snubbed him, 2.4 blocks, 1.4 steals. That's why it was so hard for me to snub Anthony Davis from this list, because the defensive numbers are fucking dominant. I know it's not Victor Wembanyama's 3.5 blocks, or it's not Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's league-leading 2.1 steals, but he was dominant on the defensive end like we wanted Anthony Davis to be last year, like we've been wanting him to be since he's been in the Lakers uniform. And he's had flashes. He has had a season or two where he was looking like regular Defensive Player of the Year conversation Anthony Davis. This is his best defensive season that he's ever had. But the fact that people just give Rudy Gobert the runaway as Defensive Player of the Year, that shit don't make sense to me, especially considering there's a guy that literally has way better defensive numbers than him. We're going to get to that later, though. Trust me on that. Bam Adebayo at 1.1 steals, 0.9 blocks. He just missed a 1-and-1 average. Jared Allen with 1.1 blocks, 0.7 steals. Chet Holmgren, 2.3 blocks, 0.7 steals a night. He averaged more blocks than Rudy Gobert, as well as Anthony Davis. Alex Caruso with 1.6 steals, 1 block. And like I said, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander with that league-leading 2.1 steals and 0.9 blocks. I couldn't not put Shai on here, bro. We have 2 all-defensive players in OKC. I don't care what you think about it. It's my list. It's my list. All right? All rookie. This one I did kind of put in the team, but not really. Yeah, this one is in teams. Victor Wembanyama, man, obviously. 21.6 points a night, 10.6 rebounds, 3.8 assists, 3.6 blocks, 1.2 steals. Like, he's a monster, bro. Don't even, no discussion. Chet Holmgren, 16.5 points, nearly 8 rebounds, 2.5 assists. The missing piece that the OKC Thunder were missing last year. And it was evident. All we really needed, not all we needed. The key factor in what we were missing was a big down low who can defend the rim, but could also stretch the floor. We got exactly that in Chet Holmgren, and it really showed. It showed how valuable that aspect or that piece of the puzzle is to being a successful contending team like we were this year. Oh my God, I'm so excited for the Thunder's future, bro. Like I said, I'm tired. So the excitement's not really showing, but I promise you, bro, the Thunder have such an exciting future, bro. And I'm so ready for it, bro. So ready for it, bro. The fact that Shai was in MVP conversations this early in our team building, like, we just got J-Dub a couple years ago. We just got Chet a couple years ago. We just got Case of Wallace this year. Josh Giddey is a 3-year player, I believe. Shai just came over 4 years ago. Like, this team is still fairly new. We just got Gordon Hayward. We just traded Poku and Trey Mann out of there. Micic. We just got new faces in. And we are still... The continuity of this team is unlike any other, bro. I think this is the closest team as far as brotherly, team bonding aspect goes that I've seen all year, and that is a huge reason as to why we're so successful. Brandon Miller, the third player I have on all rookie team, first team, 17.5 points, 4.3 rebounds, 2.4 assists. The fact that people were so against him going second over Scoot, like 2 versus 3 is really that much of a difference, was very baffling. Obviously, outside noise from, prior engagements of Brandon Miller before he was drafted, kind of rubbed people the wrong way, maybe made them not want to draft him so high. But the fact that he did go to a team that is, the players over there are struggling, bro. I'm gonna just say that. Mentally, there's a lot of stuff going on in Charlotte that is just baffling. But we're not gonna get into all the negatives. The fact he went over there and was able to still have the performance of a season that he did have, having an all-NBA caliber player and LaMelo next to him for about 30% of the year. Miles Bridges, an all-star caliber player for a good chunk of this year as well, who averaged 20 himself, and still as a rookie, you come in as the second, third leading scorer on your team. His game is so smooth, bro, and that's not even, we're not even talking about his defensive projection. He's a hell of a defender, bro. 6'8", 6'9", super long wingspan. He is a little scrawny, but I believe he could put on a few pounds, get some weight, and really, you know, make a difference out there on the defensive end. He could come in, he could be a top 10 wing defender in the league when it's, you know, when he's at his peak, in my opinion. Jaime Jaquez Jr., man, his season kind of got a little buried because Miami was not that good. They weren't as good as we were expecting them to, being in the NBA Finals last year. They don't take the regular season serious for whatever reason. But for a rookie, I think Jaime really did his thing, especially being a starter for a decent chunk of the year. 11.7 points, 3.8 rebounds, 2.5 assists. He was the most ready player coming into the league, in my opinion, as far as translation from his college game to the NBA. And just being in the Miami Heat system, that I feel like that really helped give him that extra jolt of confidence and work ethic to where he, what he practiced showed on the court. I really enjoyed the season that Jaime had. And then Amen Thompson, bro, him starting off in the G League was crazy baffling. I'm not a captain. Like, I was confused to have seen that at the beginning of the season. But since he's been a part of the actual NBA roster, he's had a hell of a year. Highlights, defensive plays, just a very, very smart basketball player, bro. And I'm excited for what him and his brother have the potential to become. Just 9 points a game, but 6.4 rebounds as a guard, as a lead guard, and then 2.5 assists. Them Thompson boys is something different on the glass, bro. Oh my gosh, the Rockets got something brewing over there. And then moving on to second team, though, Brandon Podziemski for the Warriors. I liked his game a lot this year. He's another guy that's just uber confident, like Jaime Jaquez. He came in with a chip on his shoulder. I'm not sure where he was drafted, but a lot of people, he definitely was a first rounder, but a lot of people didn't expect him to be as productive of a player as he was, or as he has been in his early career. But, you know, just the confidence that Stephen Curry and the Warriors system can instill in a player, especially a young player. We've seen it with Jonathan Kuminga this year as well. It's just something that you really have to smile at, bro. Like, I really hope that this doesn't turn into a James Wiseman and Jordan Poole situation where they can't really figure it out with the young guys after a while and they end up having to move them or whatever the case may be. Brandon Podziemski is a really solid piece for them, bro. Cason Wallace is also on this list. 6.8 points a night, 2.3 rebounds, 1.5 points. I'm not going to go into depth with everyone and bore y'all, but just know Cason Wallace's defense is a big reason why going into this postseason, we going to be all right. Keontae George, 13 points a night. I did not know he was scoring that many points. He is, fourth in rookie scoring? 5 assists, 3 rebounds. Very, very solid season for Keontae out there in Utah. Of course, with the men making first team, Asar has to make second team, 9 points a game. Matched his brother with 6.4 rebounds and then 2 assists a night. And then Derek Lively, the second. I want to send my condolences to him and his family. He just lost his mother either last night or a couple nights ago. I can't even imagine, bro. Like, I feel for him, bro. I send my condolences for sure. Obviously, he's never going to see this video, but it's just protocol, you know, being in this space and, you know, like with the Darko thing with the Warriors. I feel obligated to speak on what I see and what I know as far as what goes on with these players and these teams. So, and that's something that's pivotal in your life, bro, losing a parent. I don't know that pain. I pray to not know that pain for a long time, but I've lost my grandmother, and I know what that's like, so I can only imagine it's pretty similar. So I definitely send my condolences to Derek Lively II and his family. Got some honorable mentions though. Some guys I felt like had decent seasons worthy of some respect. I got Trace Jackson Davis on here of the Warriors. Ken Whitmore, obviously, who I spoke on earlier, of the Houston Rockets. Scoot Henderson, the number 3 overall pick, who also started off in the G League and then had a rough start to his NBA career, but then kind of turned it around as time went on. And then Tumani Kamara is also over there in Portland, having a solid year. And then G.G. Jackson II. Surprising prospect, bro. The youngest player in the league to date. And he has been on a tear this last couple of weeks of the season. I love his game. I love the potential that he does show. And I can't wait for them to be at full strength out there in Memphis, bro, and really show us what this team is capable of, man. Now, after 42 minutes of blabbing on about All-NBA, let's get to the nitty-gritty, and that is the season awards, man. We're going to go through these fast. I do got a spiel about Luka and Wemby, though. As y'all can't tell already, these are a couple of my picks, Luka Doncic and Victor Wembanyama. But starting off, obviously, with the MVP award, give me Luka, man. Luka over Jokic, Luka over Shea, Luka over everybody. Leads the league in scoring, obviously, at 34 points a night, just about. Second in assists at damn near 10 with 9.8. Top 16 in rebounding with 9.2. He averages nearly a triple-double. This is the closest he's ever been in his career. But, you know, obviously just shy of it. The last player to have done this is Russell Westbrook in his 2021 season with the Washington Wizards. Once they averaged like 21, 11, and 11. But Luka, alongside Jokic, are the only players this season to have averaged at least 2,000 points, 600 assists, and 600 rebounds. Luka, at the time of me writing this, was at 2,370 points, so 2,370 points, 647 rebounds, 687 assists, while Jokic was sitting at 2,048 points, 954 rebounds, 691 assists. So very similar numbers, just Luka is outweighing Jokic with the points, and obviously Jokic is outweighing Luka with the rebounding. The fact that Jokic has more assists than him, albeit just 5, Jokic is a beast, man. Jokic is a different kind of player, man. With these statistics, though, they join a list of Hall of Fame players, the likes of Oscar Robertson, who did it 5 times. Not only did he do it 5 times, he did it 5 straight seasons from 1960 all the way from 1965. John Havlicek, who did it back-to-back years, 1970 to 1972. Obviously, Michael Jordan is on this list in 89. James Harden and Russell Westbrook in 2017, and then LeBron James following them that year, the next year, in 2018. History, you know what I mean? This is a legendary season for Luka Doncic, man. To begin their season, the Mavericks started off very hot, 8-2 in their first 10 games. The expectations that were set for them in the postseason because of having Kyrie Irving and having a lob threat, kind of a defensive hub, and drafting Derek Lively II. There was a lot of expectations on this team to be great, and they lived up to that in the first 10 games of the year. After losing their 11th game, though, they got a little streaky with wins and losses back, here and there, going back and forth. Had a small 4-game win streak, then they would lose 2. They were teetering a line of 500, and then at the perfect time, they flipped the switch, man. I want to say right before All-Star break. Yeah, it was right before All-Star break. They were on a 6-7 game win streak. They are the second winningest team in the league since February, and it's honestly crazy. If you look at their previous games, how many W's are actually back to back. They've only lost 7 of the last 31 games. They have 1 game left tomorrow or tonight, however you want to spew it, against OKC. They've won 25 games of their last 31. And 80% of that has been, I'm not going to say 80 because a lot of guys have been holding their own, but a lot of that has to do with Luka Doncic, man. Luka has been otherworldly during this stretch, bro. He averaged 30.1 points, 9.4 assists, 9.4 rebounds. Just in a 2-month span, he's averaging a triple-double. Bro, this is the craziest part to me. A total of 942 points scored since February 5th. He has nearly 1,000 points scored in just 2 months' time. Go back to February 5th and look at his box score, man. He had 6 straight 30-point triple-doubles. Him and Shea are battling out for the most 30-point performances of the year. Shea has 51, Luka has 50. A lot of that is coming this last second month, bro. Like, the only legitimate knock I can have on Luka, it's the fact that his team is a 5 seed. It's not a number 1 or number 2 seed like Shea and Jokic. But it's only a 6-game disparage between those teams. Like, Luka is a 5 seed, but it's a 6-game gap. It's not like the Celtics, who are 12, 13 games above the rest of the conference. A lot of that has to do with the backpacking that Luka and Kyrie did, but obviously Luka is the main center of attention of that, being a near triple-double threat on a night-to-night basis. Like, having a co-star in Kyrie Irving can be a great asset for him. Or obviously it is, because Kyrie can be Batman one night. Luka can have a back seat where Kyrie, or not really have a back seat, but he has more of the attention on him. So now Kyrie Irving has more of the responsibility put on him to go out there and perform. So now Kyrie Irving is NBA champion. He's been there, done that. All-NBA, perennial, all-star type of guy. There's no way in hell that this team should be in the position that they are based off of just how everything just happened this year. They got an essential roster overhaul. Not overhaul, but a few very integral pieces just thrown into the mix halfway through the season, or 55 or so games through the year, with Daniel Gafford and PJ Washington. Like, they made it work. Luka makes his team better. It's so evident that this is his year. If it's not this year, then when? When? Does he need to be a 2 seed, a 1 seed? Because Jokic won it as a 6 seed, albeit he didn't have Murray and Porter, but his numbers carried. I don't know, man. Luka Doncic is my MVP pick. You could, argue Jokic. Either way, you could argue Shea. Either way, I'm giving it to Luka, and this is not voters fatigue for Jokic. Obviously, y'all know I want to give it to Shea. Y'all know I want to give it to Shea, but him not playing, it just kind of dropped that, that fire that he did have going for him, for making the case. Moving right along. Rookie of the Year, I'm not going to go into a spiel. Y'all know exactly who this is. It's Victor Wembanyama. He had it wrapped up for about 80% of the season now. A true demigod-like player. He can do literally everything you want in a basketball player. A perfect basketball player. Not saying he's a perfect basketball player, but he does everything that you would want in a perfect basketball player. With the right team orchestrated around him to maximize his abilities, his never before seen style of play, Victor Wembanyama literally has a chance to go down as one of the greatest of all times when it's said and done, if he stays relatively healthy for his career. Knock on wood for him, for sure. It's my brother, man. It's my Capricorn brother. His birthday is a day before mine, bro. I was ecstatic when I learned that. I'm like, okay, I'm really a fan now. we could connect on a different kind of level maybe. One day, Vic, I will be trying to hit you up for that interview, bro. So just look out for your boy, Reach the Sideline. You know what I'm saying? 6th man of the year. This one I kind of had wrapped up as well. You could kind of argue this for another player like Nas Reed, or in my opinion, I think Russ deserves some love for 6th man of the year. But I went ahead and gave it to Malik Monk, bro. The impact that Sacramento has had on his game since he arrived there, the evolution of his game rather, although it's the same role that he's been playing majority of his career, essentially the whole career. He's only started 38 games in his career. It's really been on display this season, man. He's a much better facilitator than he's ever been as the off guard, especially off of the bench. He's averaged a career high in assists, averaging 5.1 a game, a total of 370 assists with 1 regular season game left to play, so he got room to get even more than that. He's also recorded a career high in points per game as well as points total this year that he's ever scored. This is the most he's ever scored in a season, 1,110 points. So 1,110 points. Nas Reed doesn't trail him too far in points off of the bench or just points scored in general with 1,061. But my vote is to Monk because he literally did not start a single game this year. He got all of his work in off the bench. Nas Reed could have had a 35-minute game where he dropped 30 points. I'm not sure. Yeah, Nas Reed, he started 14 games on the year, most likely due to Towns' injury. But not one game since he's been on the Sacramento Kings has Malik Monk started. So that's my 6th man of the year. Moving on to MIP though, Tyrese Maxey. I've gave him this award every time we've done the quarter season awards. Had my mind made up on it since the first quarter of the year, honestly. Career highs in points with 26, assists at 6.3, and rebounds at 3.7. Shooting splits took a dip due to the rise in difficulty and the more attraction that he has been gaining. But he's still above league average from deep, and he's one of the more efficient free throw shooters in the league. So MIP Tyrese Maxey, faux show. And then our final award of the night, of the video, of the episode, DPOI, baby, DPOI. You don't know by now, you probably just ain't been listening. Victor Wembanyama, man. I don't care about the Rudy Gobert being on the #1 defense in the league. That's not all him. Ant-Man is there. Jaden McDaniels is there. Nas Reed is there. Karl-Anthony Towns is actually a solid defender as well. They have defensive pieces over there. But Vic, he's literally otherworldly, bro. A rookie has never once in NBA history been crowned Defensive Player of the Year. It seems to be frowned upon to label a rookie the best defensive player in the year in the NBA. It's just their first 82-game stint, but Victor Wembanyama is like different, bro. He's so different. The amount of space he's able to cover from standing in the paint to going to block a 3-point shot. He's so intriguing to watch. It's like you don't know what he's going to do in a game. Like watching him in person, it wasn't the greatest game, but I'm still glad that I went and got to see Victor Wembanyama in his rookie season. That's something I'll forever remember. Like I said, his birthday is a day before mine, so we are kind of connected in that way. But yeah, bro, his footwork on the defensive end, being able to stay in front of guards on the perimeter, it's all inspiring, I guess you could say, and it just really has you excited for what's to come with Vic, man. Being on a bottom 5 team in the league, you know, it does kind of sound ridiculous to say he is the best defensive player in the league, but when he plays, they're an above the middle of the pack. They're an above the middle of the pack defense. Like, it's just when he's not out there, they don't really have any other defensive pieces on this team that are really making a difference or an impact that can offset when he's not on the court. So they look terrible on the defensive end when he's not out there. On the year, he has a total of 252 blocks, 96 more blocks than the media's front runner, the runaway award winner in Rudy Gobert, as well as 38 more steals than him with 87 to Rudy's 49. Like I said, Gobert has guys out there on the floor like Edwards, McDaniels, Towns, Naz Reid. They have defensive pieces. Nickeil Alexander can even sit down in a chair and clamp something up for a few possessions, bro. Very solid defender, bro. But with Vic, they're relying on him to save the day once their matchup gets past him. So, Victor Wembanyama, man, there have only been 2 games that he's played this year out of, 72, 75? I'm not sure how many he got to, where he didn't record at least 1 block. Only 2 where he didn't get at least 1 block. He's had a game of, he had a triple-double with blocks. When has Rudy ever done that? Like, this is no Rudy hate at all, bro. It's just I'm trying to prove that we need to let go of these past narratives that a rookie can't do this. This player in this certain year can't be this. Yes, he can, because he is. He's the best defensive player, so give him his respect. Give him the award. It's that simple. He literally has better defensive stats than Rudy Gobert. Averages and totals. What are we talking about? Because his team is number 1 in defense, he has a team around him that can help do that. What are we talking about? Nah, it is whatever, man. I'm not mad, but I just want, really, the old ideologies in basketball have to be let go, bro. This is a totally different game that we're viewing right now. Especially this new era of ball that we about to see with Vic and Chet and Jabari and Alperen Sengun, all these 7-footers that are doing otherworldly things. It's a new era. We got to let these past ideologies go, man. But I got to get out of here. It's time for me to go to bed. It is 10 on the nose. I appreciate y'all tuning in. We on the road to 500, 1,000, 10,000, 500,000, 100,000, million. Enjoy basketball. Y'all know what we do around here. I appreciate y'all, man. Go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Like the video if you enjoyed it. I'll catch you on the next one.